Hello, my viewers. Welcome to Hoogar Social Academy. As day by day exams are being one after one, it is approaching, and even the subject called social science, that paper is also near. Hope you all, my viewers, are working very properly on the examination. In my previous classes, I have brought videos of 1 mark question, 2 marks question, 3 marks question, and in this segment for you, now we are going to discuss on 4 marks questions which are most likely to appear in the annual exam. These questions definitely it is going to help you for scoring more and more marks. My dear viewers, be tuned up to the end of the video, which will help you to know more number of very important questions where we can where we can give our total attention so that we can touch all the questions, whether it is of 1, 2, 3, or of 4 marks. So here are some of the very important questions, most likely questions, many times asked, and may this year these questions may appear for your annual exam. So let us begin without wasting too much of time regarding the 4 marks questions. So here the first question, what can be asked to us? So here is it. Question number 1. So as I said in my previous sessions also, I have moved with all 1, 2, 3. You please go through those videos and take the benefit out. So our first question is, how did Dondia how did Dondia walk fight fight against the British? Against whom? Against the British. Okay. How did Dondia walk fight against the British? And you know very well, dear viewers, that minimum not less than 8 points for every 4 marks question, not less than 8 point. Okay, so this was the first question. Our second question, what it so explain the explain the role of radicals. Now explain the role of radicals in the Indian freedom struggle. In the Indian freedom struggle, whose role it is? The role of the radicals. What is the role of the radicals? Right, from the same chapter, very important question. Right, it is regarding the explain the role of, now very important personalities, Subhash Chandra Bose in the freedom struggle. In which one? In the freedom struggle. Okay, whose role it is? You are going to mention about the role of the Subhash Chandra Bose in the freedom struggle. The very next question. Okay, the fourth one. If the question is related, what which measures which measures are taken to improve to improve the status of women in India. Okay, right? It is regarding the measures taken to improve the status of women in India. Now the fifth one, list out the types of list out the very simple question, right? List out the types of Agriculture. List out the types of agriculture followed in India. Followed in India. List different types of agriculture which are being followed in the where in the country called as India. Okay. Now the sixth one, and even in this somewhere, if you go through this, even we will get to understand, get to know that some questions which we think it as a 4 marks, sometimes it appears even for the 3 marks also. Okay. So here the next one is explain. The sixth one is explain the. Now like for the like this question it is explain the reforms. Explain the reforms brought. Explain the reforms brought in the police system. In the police system. In the police system during British rule. During whom? During the British rule it is. Okay. So different system which are been brought up during the time of the British rule it is. Now the very next one. Again, how can we conserve? How can we conserve forest? See, very simple question, but sometimes such simple questions also it is been taken as a form of difficult. So these are not a tough questions. How can we conserve the forest? Our eighth question. Now eighth question, what it is said, it talks about explain. Explain the. Explain the economic and military cause. Now here explain the economy and military causes for the which one? First war of Indian independence. First war of which one? Indian independence. Okay. So question, right? What type of questions were being asked? Now see what he says that how did Dondia Walk fight against the British? Okay. Explain the role of radicals in the Indian freedom struggle. Explain the role of Subhash Chandra Bose in the freedom struggle. Which measures are taken to improve the status of women? List out the types of agriculture followed in India. Explain the reforms brought in the police system during the British rule. How can we conserve the forest? Explain the economic and military causes for the first war of Indian independence. Okay, right? Few more questions. Let us go. But as I said you that there are many questions are being there. Sometimes those questions which should be for there for the 3 marks will be asked in the way in the form of 4 marks also. Right? Social science is a such a subject where we can go with out. Okay, it's a scoring subject, but very cautiously it has to be done, right? So our ninth question, what it is going to ask to us, the ninth question is explain how explain how the British, okay, British utilized, explain how the British utilized the resources of India of India during during right First World War. During which one? During the First World War. Okay, during the First World War. Now, another side. Explain the contribution. Explain the contributions of Krishna Raj Wadiyar, Krishna Raj Wadiyar fourth in framing Mysore as Mysore as model state. Mysore as which one? As a model state. Okay, Mysore as a model state. Explain how the British utilized the resources of the India during the First World War, and explain the contribution of Krishna's Wadiyar Fort in framing Mysore as the model state. Our 11th question, what it is? Okay, list out the achievements. List out the achievements of UNO. Okay, you are going to mention the achievements of which one? Achievements of the UNO. Okay, another side. The question is asked regarding explain the explain the importance explain the importance of forest. Okay, explain the importance in such questions, right? Apart from the book, general also, what we can do, we can write over there. Another side, explain the explain the structure and function. Explain the structure and functions of the Security Council of UNO. See, the question is explain the structure and function of Security Council of UNO. You are going to write it. Another side. Explain the effects. Explain the effects of the British education. Say one more question. Same. It can be asked for the 3 marks also, or it can be asked for the 4 marks also. British education on Indians. Right? Explain the effects of the British education of whom on the Indians. What type of it was been there. Okay. Another side. Next one. 15th one. Explain. Explain the the process of explain the process of merger of Jammu and Kashmir. Explain the process of Jammu and Kashmir to Indian Union. To which one? To Indian Union. Okay. The question saying explain how the British utilized the resources of India during the First World War. Explain the contribution of Krishna's Wadiyar Fort in framing Mysore as a model state. Okay, as a model state. List out the achievements of UNO. Explain the importance of forest. Explain the structure and function of the Security Council of UNO. Explain the effects of British education on India. Explain the process of merger now, okay, of Jammu and Kashmir to Indian Union. To Indian Union. So these are some of the questions. Okay, next let us go after this few more questions. So 15 questions we have touched. Okay, and these 15 questions are what? They are one of the very important questions are there. Okay, now let us go with the which one to the 16th question. What it want to ask to us? The 16th question. Okay, the 16th question is which are the factors? Which are the factors? Which are the factors that decide the cropping cropping pattern? Say the question. Which are the factors that decide the cropping pattern. Now the 17th question, what it is? Okay, what are the measures? What are the measures? What are the measures taken by the government by the government to solve gender discrimination? Okay, gender discrimination. The question, it is related to what are the measures taken by the government to solve the gender discrimination. Okay, the very next, what it is being asked, the question, it is regarding the struggle. Okay, the struggle of, now here the person called as a Puttabasappa. Puttabasappa. Okay, Puttabasappa, against whom? Against the British. Against the British is ever remembered. Is ever remembered. Okay, you have to justify this. What you have to do? You have to justify. Okay, the 19th one again, Hitler. Question is on Hitler. Ambition. Hitler ambition to popularize. Very very important question. Many times it has been asked. It has been might your teacher has been stressed more on this question, right? Hitler ambition to the popularize Aryan race. Aryan race became the cause causes for mass murders. Mass murders. Okay, you have to what to do? Justify. The 20th question now. Explain the struggle. Explain the struggle. Explain the struggle of Santala. Explain the struggle of Santalas against whom? Against the British. Against whom? Against the British. The against whom? Against the British. Okay. Another side. What are the what are the causes and effects of what are the causes and effects of earthquake? What are the causes and effects of earthquake? Another 22nd question now. The central the central and state governments, state governments the central and state governments have have taken several initiatives for empowerment of gender minorities. How? Okay, the question is, sorry, not how, you have to explain, you have to justify, or you have to illustrate. Okay, this is the question. Now here see, which are the factors that decided the cropping pattern? What are the measures taken by the government to solve gender discrimination? Okay, this is gender discrimination. It is, now it is about the gender minorities. The struggle of Puttabasappa against the British is ever remembered. How? Justify. Hitler ambition is to popularize Aryan race. This become the reason for the mass murder that you have to justify. Struggle of Santala tribe against the British, you have to mention. What are the causes and effects of earthquake? The central and state government have taken several initiative for the empowerment of whom, of the gender minorities. That also you have to what, you have to illustrate or you have to explain over. So 22 questions. Now let us move to the way to the 23rd question, what it want to ask to us. 4 marks, right? Questions. There are some, these are the major number of 7 to 8 chapters are there from where the 4 marks questions are going to be asked. So whatever the questions we are on, questions where we are working on, apart from these questions there is no such questions will be there which apart from this can be asked or it can be erased. Okay, so these are the fixed questions, what we can say, we can accept that these questions are going to be asked. So our 23rd question, okay, it is regarding uh, the British land revenue system. Okay, which one? The British land revenue system. The British land revenue system brought a great change, brought a great change in Indian, somewhat twist, but question is very simple. The British land revenue system brought a great change in agriculture. Indian agriculture, you are going to justify. What you are going to do? You are going to justify. Okay, the 24th question it's related to how is cultivation? How is cultivation of paddy? How is cultivation of paddy different different from different from cultivation of wheat? Now this you are going to say what difference between the vision. It's regarding the cultivation part. Okay, how it has been, what it has been different. And the last question, okay, very important questions we can say. Forests are twisted question. Again, it is a very simple. Forests are important resources. Forests are important resources to both man and environment. To both man and environment. Justify. What you are going to do? Justify. So, my dear viewers, okay, the British land revenue system brought a great change in Indian agriculture. You have to justify how is the cultivation of paddy is different from the cultivation of wheat. You are going to explain, and forest how they are important to both man and environment. You are going to justify this. Okay, so these are some of the 25 questions are there which are very important on the point of view of our annual exam. Okay, so these questions definitely it is going to help you for taking the or completion of all the 4 marks questions, right? So any questions it may be asked to you, you will be easily able to solve these 4 marks questions, my dear viewers, right? These 4 marks questions are very important. It's because hardly 5 questions will be asked, and in that 5 questions you are going to write 4 questions. One or question will be there, right? Which will that also will help you easily to write. It's because seeing the different question number of question papers of the last number of years, it has been seen, it has been found that all the number of in questions in the question paper of 2 marks, 3 marks, as well as the 4 marks, they will be straight given to us. Very rarely it will be one or two question will be twisted. Rest all as it will remain the same. So my dear viewers, please focus on all the important questions so that it will help you to solve your question paper. And as I earlier also said, I have uploaded the videos regarding the 1 marks question, 2 marks question, 3 marks, that in a two parts. Okay, 50 question, 50 question of 1 marks, 50 question of 2 marks, 50 more than 50 questions of 3 marks, and now here near about 25 questions of 4 marks. So do well, best of luck for your exams, and carry on forward with the great colors. Stay tuned with the Hoogar Social Academy and make others also be the part of Hoogar Social Academy.